Konnichiwa, Minisan.
Hello and welcome to the Famicast 290, your Famicast for the early part of April 2025. I'm your host, Danny, and right now I'm joined by my boy, JC.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Switching it up. Too fast to switch. No, that's wrong. Switch it around,
Something like
it's
that.
290. Wow.
Yeah.
So Switch 1 to Switch 2 was, what, 289 episodes? Well, no, probably more because the Switch came out. Wait, did it come out before the first episode? I can't remember. Not the first episode, but 101?
Yes.
Around about that time, didn't it?
Yes, it did. About a month before.
A month. Okay. So, yeah.
Probably. I mean, still, it's long. That's a lot of podcasts in between console releases, man, that's for sure.
That's right. 8 years?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, as of right now,
8 years later. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if you're watching us live, you know that it's less than 24 hours since the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. That's going to be obviously the main focus of discussion today. Lots of stuff to talk about.
Oh, really? I was going to talk about Splatoon 3.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just nix that. And
we can talk a bit about Splatoon. Split 2. It's fine. Yeah,
okay. Cool. Thank you.
So,
anyways, Ty will be joining us a little bit later. He's just kind of hung up a little bit and the train, I think, and stuff, but he'll be joining us. So lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, boy.
Let's just go ahead and just get right into it. Forget it. Here we go.
Switch 200.
That's it. All right. So first up, just to get the basic stuff out of the way, just in case you don't know, maybe you don't. I think most of you guys do. Oh, before that, actually, Balls is in the chat. Hey, what's up, family dudes? What's everyone's hype levels for Switch 2? Russ, he says, hey, having a good show. Sorry I can't stay. I'm just off to a bank heist so I can afford Mario Kart World. Perfect. Balls, I'm feeling tepid, especially with the price point and everything. Yeah, I can understand that. We'll get to that. And with the pricing and all of that. So the system itself is coming out on Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Before we get to that, actually, I have a short video clip that I want to share with you guys. Something that I saw at the very end of the Japanese Nintendo Direct. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that.
Japanese Direct.
Yeah. See, here we go. And
ここまでご覧いただきありがとうございます。
改めてになりますが、Nintendo Switch 2の発売日は6月5日です。最後に発売する本体のご紹介です。日本で発売する Nintendo Switch 2は日本語専用かつ国内専用の本体となります。これに加えダウンロード版のマリオカートワールドがセットになった本体も発売します。また日本語以外の言語が必要な場合は多言語対応バージョンをマイニンテンドーストアからご購入いただけます。詳しくはダイレクト終了後に公開する公式ホームページをご覧ください。
駆け足になりましたが、今回お伝えする内容は以上になります。
発売までもうしばらくお待ちいただくことになりますが、Nintendo Switch 2を皆さんにご体験いただけることを今からとても楽しみにしています。
最後までご覧いただき
ありがとうございました。
So if you're listening to the audio version, you have probably, unless you're really good at Japanese, you probably have no idea what they just said. But just to recap their recap of a lot of things. So again, this was at the very end of the Direct. Each region had their own kind of cut of this, talking about specific SKUs that are going to be released in their territories. So I was watching the UK one and the Japanese one at the same time. The Japanese one was a little bit ahead, so I saw this. And so he says, the Switch 2 launches on June 5th. And he said the hardware that's going to be, oh God, I can't see it.
It's really funny because I just assumed this was the comedy version. I thought you'd put in some funny subtitles that said And also, fuck you, Famicast.
No,
At the end or something, but you didn't. It was like a straight up translation.
yeah, straight up. Well, I mean, I did cross. I just for some of it was like literally just tit for tat with the other, with like the UK one and stuff. But obviously, the stuff about Japan wasn't. So the Nintendo Switch 2 that is being released in Japan is a Japanese language system, and you could see it on the box of it too, and it says for Japan only. And then he goes on to say there's going to be a bundle with Mario Kart, and then he says for those needing a system with additional languages.
For those weirdos that don't speak Japanese or want to speak other languages.
Right. He's like, you can purchase a multi-language system.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely buy that one then. That sounds great. Yeah, I'll buy the multi-language one. Fantastic. Boom.
Right.
Next.
Directly. Thank you, James. Directly from the My Nintendo store online. And yeah, you can check it out on the My Nintendo store. Obviously, James already knows this, but
sounds good, baby. Multi-language version sounds fantastic. I'm assuming there are absolutely no catches to that.
Right, and you don't have to pretend, man. Come on. It's like, no, like we were complaining about this on the Discord this morning and stuff like that, and so there's a really weird limitations for this too, because yes, you are able to get these via a lottery system. Actually, the Switch 2 goes up for pre-order here in Japan on April 24th. Again, all the stuff that's going to be at retail stores across the country, probably Amazon, online stuff and stuff like that too, they're going to be the Japan only thing. These things are language locked, region locked. You can only connect a Japanese My Nintendo account. You can only play games probably in Japanese. The system itself will be like in Japanese only. For this multi-language thing, it supports up to 16 languages. That's more than, the original Switch right now has 12, and this is including Japanese. So, and also with this multi-language system, you'll be able to link up any Nintendo account that you have in any region. It's fine. Only problem is, so the launch price for Japan here is actually quite nice for the Japanese only system. It's 49,980 yen. I think that equates to about 334 like US dollars right now, which you're thinking like, holy crap, that's amazing. Yep. And then, there's a bundle with the Mario Kart. There's a little bit more than that. But for this multi-language version, this thing is 69,980 yen. Even that, though, it's cheaper than, or at least maybe about on par with what it costs in the US, about a little under $450. So, like, obviously, I don't have to explain this to James, but maybe some people out there, you're like, well, it's so cheap. It's like, well, yeah, if I got paid in US dollars or some kind of other currency, but I get paid in yen. It's like, so there's a big difference between the two systems there.
Yeah, I mean, me and Danny, we've kind of gone the 6 stages of grief, I guess. It's the denial, the anger. We've gone through all of that, but then like Danny was saying, I mean, the currency differences are absolutely insane right now. Yeah. So like the Japan only model, which is 50,000 yen, just under 50,000 yen, that would be £259. I mean, that's cheaper than the Switch 1 was like 8 years ago. That's like, you could have bought I think a 3DS was probably about 250 quid back in the day. So obviously they can't do that. Right. I mean, it kind of happened a little bit with the Switch, but the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 got hit hard by this, because obviously people from other countries, nameless countries, came and bought, 59 PlayStation 5s and then sold them at, twice, the price in other countries. Yeah. Because, I think the PlayStation 5 was at like 60,000 at launch. It was like
maybe even cheaper actually, but still is not
which
cheap.
Was probably about 300 quid. So $300 at the time. Mm-hmm. And a PlayStation 5 for $300. I mean, you can sell that for $500. You're still making a profit, and the people in America are still getting a good bargain. Right. So that was not doable. So it sucks. We are getting punished alongside the scammers, but it's only like, it's like us and 8-4-Play is like the only people that really care about this, right? It's like, we need multi-languages. And I actually have another little twist to this story, Danny, because I work with a Korean lady South Korean lady, and she speaks fluent Japanese, better than me, and she can read Japanese like way better than me. And she was also a little bit pissed off by this, not because she wants to play it in English, it's because she wants to play it in Korean. So she doesn't mind the UI being in Japanese, that's fine, but she wants her games to be in Korean. And so, and she has a Korean, Nintendo, profile or whatever, right? So like, it's not just, English teachers in Japan, it's all languages.
Maybe a good chunk of them, who knows?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Everyone on this show, at least.
Yeah.
So, it sucks, but it's kind of a necessity. Yeah. Because, the 70,000, like Danny said, 70,000 brings it alongside other countries' prices. So people are just going to look, it's like 70,000 yen for an English Switch in Japan. Fuck that. I'll just get it from Walmart or whatever. Right.
But even then too, and we maybe have mentioned this in our Discord and stuff like that, but there are some real big caveats to this, because these multi-language systems are not going to be available at stores. They're only available via lottery through My Nintendo. And you have to meet some really ridiculously strict conditions to even be eligible to apply.
What is it? 50 hours of gameplay?
Yeah, 50 hours of gameplay on your account. You have to have been a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber for a year as of the day that you enter the raffle.
It's already passed, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I don't know, for the 50 hours, that was like you had to have had 50 hours total by February 28th, 2025.
So
and then
it's already passed,
last
you
couple,
can't go back in time.
Right. You cannot, okay, if you're on a family plan, it could only be like the top member, and then you have to have a Japanese My Nintendo account. This is the one that they're going to be looking at for all this too. So,
yeah, and it's annoying because I check all of those boxes, except I play my games with my British profile.
Sure.
I buy all my games on the Japanese eShop, most of them, all the ones that are available. I'll buy it on the Japanese one, with some caveats, like as we've talked about on the show. If it doesn't have English, then I'll buy the the English version if it's an indie game, whatever. But for the majority, I buy it on the Japanese store. But then I play it on my UK profile. I think it's just because it's the same profile or the same like thing that I've had since whatever the Wii U, before that, the Wii U and 3DS. So. Yeah, I've just kind of kept it going. And Danny was smart because I think at 3DS you switched over to like full Japan, right?
Yeah, and like even before that, like Wii era, because I moved here and I was like, all right, this is really annoying to buy games for my North American Wii. Screw this, and just the
Wii Shop channel,
that kind of stuff. Actually, sometimes that. Oh my God, there was. Okay, I don't even want to get into it. But no, yeah, that's just what I did, and it's just easier just to buy things. I mean. Yeah, it's just kind of
it's smart, and Danny often talks about how amazing the My Nintendo app is, which is Japan only, because it has great stats and it has other cool features like check-in things where you go to the store and you scan your thing and you get whatever download wallpaper or something. I don't know.
You're into that sort of thing.
But yeah, it is cool, and but yeah, for whatever reason, I never thought to do that. So I have hundreds of hours of gameplay since, and I've always had a subscription from the Japanese store. Like I buy NSO from the Japan store.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that it's not, there's one more check that I need to check, and that's I need 50 hours of gameplay. And I have like a couple of minutes. I think it's NSO stuff. Or like what do you call it? Game trials?
Yeah, it can't be, it said it can't be free. It can't be like demos.
So that wouldn't even work anyway. I think the only time I use my Japan profile is when I do the game trials that are Japan only. And then I just switch back. So it's probably got like 3 hours and it's only game trials, so it wouldn't count.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what the situation is right now. Nintendo supposedly stockpiling a lot of these things throughout the world, so who knows what it's going to look like. I mean, this packaging for this multi-language thing, it is Japan only because there's Japanese on it and English. So I don't think they're selling that in any other territories unless they need to. But interesting. I'm going to be entering in the raffle and seeing if I could win. I hope so. We'll see. And I
feel sorry for the guys who work in the electronic stores in Japan. Like they already have a trouble speaking in English when like in Akihabara, for example.
Oh, yeah.
They usually have a couple of people that speak English, but and they now have to explain. It's like, okay, if you buy this Switch, you will only be able to play it in Japanese. It's like, well, why you give me that shit for? Where's the American version? It's like, I was like, what the fuck? $700? Fuck this shit. Give me the Japanese. There's going to be all that kind of nonsense going on, right?
Yeah, and even with that, if you buy this multi-language version from Japan, the warranty is good in Japan. You cannot use that warranty in other countries too. So there's that. That's something that they would have to explain, which is probably why they're keeping this to My Nintendo, because they put this down in Japanese, and basically it's like, hey, if you don't understand this, we don't know what to tell you.
That's true, actually, because if like foreigners come to Japan, they can't buy it because you need a My Nintendo account, which is Japanese only.
Yeah.
So it is really literally just for nerds like us. That would understand it, right?
I do think, and maybe we were talking about this earlier today, James, but I think it is clever what they're doing to try to do stuff to prevent, piracy, or not piracy, scalpers. It's great. I kind of wish they had a different way to do this. Like, let's say, okay, make it so it's Japan language lock, but if you connect to the system, you pay for Nintendo Switch Online or something. I don't know. Make it then so you can you can unlock the extra language options or something. Because it can't be much more than just some kind of proprietary firmware update, because it's going to have all the same functionality as all the other systems. So,
yeah. Actually, now you mention it, I think just the fact that you need a My Nintendo account with 50 hours of gameplay, like, why do you need to charge more for that? Like, for example, if someone like me, it's like, okay, let's say I check all the boxes. It's like, I live in Japan. I'm not a scalper. I have an official account. And can I have a multi-language one now, please? For the regular price, because I'm not going to sell it, So, yeah, it kind of makes less sense when I think about it like that. I mean, if it was in Yamada Denki, in Akihabara, then sure, you need to lock that shit out, because there's going to be a Chinese guy with a fucking truck full of boxes going straight back to China with that shit. Yeah. I understand why.
Yeah, and it's like, this isn't even anecdote. This is stuff that we talked about on the show before. That was a big problem with PS5s. Not so much Xboxes, but maybe
it was Xbox, because they weren't selling them here.
Right, because it's like, look at how many of these things sold. And it's like, really, nobody's playing any Xbox. I mean, like, not even just saying it as like, being facetious. It's just like, who's playing this?
I think I shared a photo like from Twitter at the time, like it was an apartment full of Xbox Series X's in Japan.
Yeah, Genki and Jody that were on the show past, they showed that stuff too.
It's like, this is why Xbox is selling well in Japan. They're not being played.
Western media went crazy with that, but all right.
Funny.
Well, anyways, like, I know we could probably keep going on this, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's just kind of keep on going.
We'll be talking about this for the next 280 episodes.
I just put together like a video script and a video for this specifically about this. If you want to hear more about that, that'll be going up maybe later tonight or tomorrow, so you guys can see that.
Hey, do you notice they didn't do the Switch click at all? They were doing, and look at this.
Oh, okay.
They were jetting forwards. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually.
The animation, they had the animation. They kind of
of
smashing together and the two appearing, but the actual guys didn't do that. It stood out because we had the other direct last week, and he must have clicked his fingers about 56 times in that one. But with this one, no clicks.
Actually, James, before we move on to just hardware in general, I did want to bring up this one thing about game pricing, because right now we only know the price of two specific games.
Do we know the Japanese prices?
Yes.
Oh, we do. Okay, I didn't know that. I've only seen the European and American prices. Okay. This is news to me.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we'll be talking about these two games in a little bit later. But
can I guess? I'm going to guess 8,900 and 9,800 for the two price levels. Because one is more expensive than the other, right? I forgot which one is more expensive.
You're very close, because they had both the physical and the digital prices on there.
Yeah. That's why they differentiate the download prices now, right?
Yeah. So Mario Kart, $80 USD right now. That's going to be 8,900 yen, about 9,000 yen for the digital, and then about 10,000 yen for the physical.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it would go that far.
Yeah, Donkey Kong, on the other hand, is in the US, and elsewhere
That's
it's a
cheaper,
bit of,
right? Yeah.
bit of a bargain. $69.99, $70, and then here in Japan, just drop down 1,000 per tier, and 8,000 for physical, then 9,000 for 8,000
around,
for
yeah.
digital, 9,000 for physical. So
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm fully digital anyway, and this is pretty much put the nail in the coffin for ever buying physical again now.
I will say, I mean, that's the suggested retail price. I guarantee you go to any retail store, even with the current pricing on Switch, usually it's about 1,000 yen cheaper, because those retailers want to be able to compete with the eShop. So
that's true. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about games later, but things like we'll have the anime tax or the Square tax. Those will be just online with what they are on PS5 anyway. So because they're already 10,000 yen anyway, so that's not going to be a huge shock for most of those people who like those kind of games, like Shinky.
It is. I will say it is a little bit weird to see Nintendo games priced that high, even here. I mean, but at the same time, it's like Nintendo's been on this pricing. The same pricing pattern since maybe like Wii U days or something. So it's been a good like 10 years. So I'm not saying that
in Japan, you're talking about maxing out at like 8,000 kind of thing.
I mean, for the most of their games, like most first party games, with a few weird like RPG or anime exceptions, were like about 6,500 yen. Even now, Zeldas are different, stuff like that. But yeah, that they've been doing that for a long time. So
Zelda was the one that broke the mold, right? That was the first one where it was like
it was already over. Breath of the Wild was already expensive. Dude.
In the States, that was the first $70 game, right?
The States. In Japan, that didn't really make much of a difference.
It was already that price anyway.
It was already about that price anyway, so it wasn't even a big deal. But this is a big deal. So
welcome to the life of a European or an Australian. It's like we love hearing Americans say, I paid $50 for this game. Can you believe that shit? Like Australians just like grinding their teeth. It's like, motherfucker, shut up. I paid $120 for my game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah. So I thought we'd move on next to this, the hardware and controllers. And actually I have some videos that I can just kind of run in the background here as well. So, I mean, obviously, back in January, we saw a good look at the system, but there were a lot of things that we didn't know. And
I was surprised they didn't go more on the mouse controller, for example. It was like there was a little bit of it, but it wasn't like they didn't go all in, except for that one game.
Sure.
But
sorry, I'm getting this pulled up. Here we go.
Got my fingers crossed for that Pro controller being good.
Right. So, yes, actually, God, I hope the Pro controller footage is in here, actually, because that is something that I did want to talk about. Like I said, man, we don't have to talk about any of this stuff in particular order. But let's start with the Pro controller, because I mean, there are some pretty cool upgrades to that thing.
I mean, you could probably hear me talk about the very early Patreon episodes of the Famicast, like 101 to 110, that kind of time, complaining about the Pro controller not having a mic input, because I really liked that part of the Wii U. Like the Wii U was such a perfect console for what I was going through at the time. Like I'd like my first son being born, and having to be quiet and wanting to play games while and not be loud, and having that being able to play off TV and being able to use your headphones, any headphones in the controller, was so good. Hey, Ty.
Hey, what's happening?
How's it going, Ty?
Pretty good. Feeling a little boxed in.
Hey. So the Wii U Pro controller didn't have a mic input, but it didn't matter because the gamepad had it. And then, so when the Switch came out, I was kind of expecting them to just put a little mic on there, because the PS4 did, which released the same time, right? Like of that era. So it's like why they're not just putting a mic on the mic, or not mic, what do you call it? A headphone jack on it,
right?
So we can just listen to the games, because we lost a feature with the Switch, didn't we? Because as soon as you put the Switch into the dock, the screen goes off, and it has to be played on the TV, right? And when you undo it, then you have to play portably, and the TV goes off. You can't have both, right? So yeah, I was like, well, the solution, just put the fucking mic, the headphone jack on the controller, and they didn't do it until now. Now it has a headphone jack. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think what's even cooler about the Pro controller is like, they have these new special buttons, G, L, and GR. And at first when I saw it, I was like, that is stupid. But then I read like the developer asks thing. I think I still got 2 more to go, but one of them that I read, one of the guys said like, hey, I mean, you could map anything to that button. Like, so let's say if you don't, and I think this would be a really good use case for it, to press the capture button, you got to take your finger off or your thumb off of like the regular joystick, which can be kind of annoying. Like if you're actually doing something really like intense, then just take your thumb off the joystick, put it on the capture button, and boom. I mean, it's not doable, but then if you have it on the G, the little triggers on the handles, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's an attachment for the PlayStation, isn't it? Like you have to buy some kind of extra thing for the controller to have a customizable button.
I'm not sure on PlayStation, Xbox tie, don't they have like some kind of fancy doodad controller with that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think that actually started with like pro esports sweatlords, like making their own little devices to so they could have stuff more accessible. Like so you don't have to take your thumb off the stick or mingle your hand to reach everything.
Yeah,
but it's not a standard feature on the regular Xbox controller.
No, but it is a standard feature now on like various like Pro controllers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's definitely the way that a controller design is moving.
Right.
It's very cool that Nintendo hopped on this train.
I was going to say it's kind of surprising that Nintendo was on that bandwagon.
And it's not because I mean when Sony and Microsoft do it, they're at a premium. Like those controllers are $150.
Oh yeah, they're super fucking expensive.
But they look nice and sometimes like replaceable parts and like all this type of stuff. It's crazy. I don't think the Switch 2 Pro's that level, but still it's cool to have some kind of
it's $90 in America, isn't it, Danny? I don't know about the Japanese pricing. I'm assuming at least 10,000 yen.
I don't remember seeing the pricing for that anywhere. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right place.
If it's less than 10,000 yen, I will be shocked.
Sure.
Yeah. The camera do we know the price for that one? I think
no,
it's
I don't think
in the US.
Maybe like some of the prices on some of the accessories. I haven't seen any of them in Japanese. For what
I would guess 6,000 yen, maybe 7,000 yen for that.
Maybe
I would guess.
Actually, before we get to accessories, let's go back to the hardware for just a second because there are a couple of things that I think we should go over at first. So I mean, obviously the system's bigger. It has a non-OLED screen. It's LCD, bigger, 1080p. That's nice. Supports HDR, which is nice. And then, it also has like VRR variable refresh rate. Thank you. And like can go up to 120 frames per second too, which is pretty nice. A little
I didn't expect that. That's pretty wild. And like Metroid Prime supports 120 frames a second. It's like what?
Yeah, so it can, and it depends on the game because I think Metroid, we'll talk about that a little bit later, maybe even just reemphasize it, but like that in 1080p, it can go 120 frames a second. You can do it, but if you do it in 4K, it caps at 60.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, but yeah, I mean, the system wise, it's the same. It's still thin. It's 4K this time as well. If you're playing on the TV with HDR, VRR, and up to 120 frames per second, if you have obviously compatible TV for that or monitor. So pretty cool. And I found it interesting because and actually they showed off some kind of a thing where it's like, well, what is the chipset inside of this? And it said like just very generally proprietary NVIDIA chipset or something. Beforehand everyone was talking about, they're going to talk about how they do this kind of like crazy upscaling type of tech and stuff like that. And it's like, I think we talked about it in the last episode of the show. It's like, I don't think Nintendo is the kind of company that likes to try to explain these super technical things, or at least they haven't for quite a long time. Whereas like, you watch the Sony PlayStation thing, it's like Mark Cerny gets up there and starts talking about all sorts of stuff. And hey, some people are into that and that's fine, but
good luck to him.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's audience and maybe us and people watching this show, they're interested in stuff like that, maybe to an extent, but It's just not necessary.
I'm reminded of the when Microsoft was talking about like the original Xbox specs or the Xbox 360 specs. I forget which. And they like post all their specs online. And nerds started building their own because they were all available parts. And when some hacker got his hands on the firmware, like people had Xboxes, like DIY Xboxes before the Xbox came out.
Nice.
So it's kind of a long shot, but maybe there's a little security concern in there too.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, yeah, dude, yeah, good point. Because yeah, back 2001, 2002, GameCube, Xbox, PS2 the era, we knew exactly all the specs for all the systems and stuff. That's kind of crazy now that you mentioned it. Like something like that would have happened, but I'm not surprised, I guess.
Yeah, but Nintendo always uses proprietary stuff. It's never off the shelf ever. So
yeah,
they could lay out the fucking blueprints and people still wouldn't be able to build it. Well,
at least not
exactly the same.
Yeah. But, Balls also says $80 for the Pro. $50.
Yeah. We were speculating on the Japanese price, Balls. We know the American prices. Like,
okay,
we don't know the Japanese prices. So I was speculating what it would be. Yeah. Probably near $100 for Japan.
Right. So yeah, I mean, what do we think about the hardware in general? I mean, do you think it's pretty nice? Do you think it's a good upgrade? Anything you think it's lacking?
Yeah. I'm glad they got a nice new 4K OLED, TV recently.
Yeah,
we can actually get some stuff. That's going to look good on it.
It's nice. I'm glad they have a LAN port.
Yeah. Nice catch. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. That's right.
That was like the first thing I looked for.
I was going to say, trust Ty to notice that first.
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the list of reverse compatible games. Like apparently it's not full reverse compatibility.
Yeah,
what's going on there?
So you'd be easier pressed to find games that don't work, or at least partially don't work. Because the games that absolutely don't work are things that were tied to Joy-Con, like.
We were exactly right.
Exactly,
like everything we said, like a few episodes back.
Exactly.
Was
but
exactly
even then, you could use your old controllers on it, so you could technically still play them if you hook up your Joy-Con from the Switch 1 to there via Bluetooth or something. You can do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Use your old Joy-Cons. You can still do it if you want to.
Yeah.
You're weirdo for whatever reason. But the compatibility list, they were actually got really into the nitty gritty details on that. I was kind of impressed. Like Nintendo not only said which games will not work, but they said this will partially work because of this, and they actually explained why. And it's like, wow, okay, that's very very un-Nintendo. Like really getting into the technical stuff and admitting like straight up like what doesn't work and why it doesn't work. I was kind of impressed by that. Yeah. Usually it's just please understand. It's like it doesn't work. It's
a catchphrase for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But they went beyond it wasn't just the please understand this time.
Ty, do you have any other thoughts on the hardware in general, controller or anything like that?
Not really. It seems nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty pleased with it too, man. Like I did find kind of an annoying thing about my 4K TV. It does not support HDR, which is kind of annoying. Or or like
throw it in the tray.
Yeah, or the 120 frames per second thing. I can't do that either. So it's like, oh man.
Oh, I don't know about that one actually.
Yeah. But I mean, with that, because like if you want to do that, you can just do it on the device itself. Which I mean, I've used HDR on my phone, and you could really tell the difference. It is like crazy vivid and stuff like that. So yeah, disappointed a little bit that it's not an OLED screen, but at the same time it's like this supports HDR, so that's cool. We'll see.
Yeah, it's great. Like I was actually thinking about Ty and like Quake Champions kind of stuff, like when they said like Metroid Prime 4 supports like 120 frames a second and it's got like mouse controls. I was like, holy shit. Are they going like full Quake Champions on this shit? That's amazing. Like, that's pretty wild. I was not expecting that. I didn't even know I wanted that. But now that's the only thing I'm thinking about. Like, I need this.
Well, thinking about the mouse controls, because I mean, that's something we knew before. And maybe should we save it for the games, maybe, perhaps?
Well, they didn't
Maybe,
really tell
'cause,
us
like-
much, did they?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all my comments would be like game specific applications.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just talk about it a little bit, because the main thing that they showed off is the, gosh. Okay. No, let's not talk about it. Sorry.
Well, Danny remembers the name of the game.
No. I have it here, but yeah.
What's it called? Grindhouse?
Yes, Grindhouse. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's the oh my god. No, I did have it here.
It's weird anyway. It's very Nintendo. It's like,
Dra-
yeah, we're gonna make a
Dragon-
game.
Dragon. Drive.
Dragon Drive. And in Japanese it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Just in katakana. Yeah, that was the new ARMS. It's like, yeah, we're gonna, use the new weird controller in a way, that's unique to this console. So like, let's do a double mouse game. Brilliant.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But one thing that they said in the ask the developer thing, so like, this is interesting. It kind of goes back to Nintendo's philosophy, something that Gunpei Yokoi said. He called it the lateral thinking of withered technology. And this is like basically an idea that new hit products can be made by taking old tech that isn't like cutting edge anymore and use it for different purposes. If you think about any of the, like a lot of the stuff that Nintendo made over the years, DS with resistive touchscreen, gyro, a bunch of stuff like that. Nintendo used to do that all the time. And this is kind of like doing that to an extent, but at the same time, it's not mandatory for all developers to do, which is kind of nice. So yeah, a little bit more freedom with that.
So what's the old tech that they were using? Just the IR?
Well, it's a mouse.
Yeah.
I mean, just something familiar.
Like optical mice have been around since what, the 90s?
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's actually a ball mouse.
CB and Mario Paint.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the only mouse specific game that is coming from Nintendo, right? I mean, they mentioned Civ 6 having mouse support.
7. Yeah.
Civ 7 is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Civ 6. Ty is the one that played Civ 6, right? Yeah. So Civ 7.
Civ 7's the new one.
Hogwarts Legacy supports it for a couple of things. Thank you.
Why is that a thing?
Something about like flying and maybe with the spells and stuff like that.
Yeah. And Metro Prime, like I said. Mario Kart's not going to use it. And that's their flagship game. Donkey Kong's not going to use it.
Mario Party will use it to
Mario. Oh, are they adding an extra world or whatever?
Yeah.
Like Mouse World.
Yeah.
What's it called? TV something? Something about TVs.
Yeah. There's a couple other things. Maybe we'll get into that with the games a little bit. Let's talk about the C button, because that was a mystery going in. Nobody knew what that was going to be. Everybody had their own kind of thoughts about what it could be.
That's
And
right.
I think most of us were
what begins with C? Game chat.
Yes.
Game chat. Press the C button for the game chat. Yeah. Not the G button.
Glad that we all got it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Like this section of the direct, the Japanese one had
they changed the
Japanese
actors.
actors and actresses. And I was like literally watching them both at the same time. I was like, oh, okay, that's how they did this.
It was very well localized. Yeah.
Yeah. Same situations, just different faces. But
very
yeah,
brave to show the that video stream being so laggy, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. So
it did feel more real, though, to be honest. Like if it was like a pre-rendered thing where it's like 5 4K displays being shown at the same time and all silky smooth, running 120 frames a second, you'd be like, okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
What's it really going to be like? But this really showed what it's going to be like. You're like, oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So game chat itself can support up to 12 people for voice chat. If you get that Nintendo Switch 2 camera, you can. I'm assuming you can still do 12 people, but only 4 people can share their screens, whether that be the camera or their gameplay screen, which is kind of neat. But then, like James basically just said, if you see this footage that they showed during the show, it's like, yeah, that is pretty brave of them to do this, because this looks terrible, like just quality wise and stuff like that. But honestly, I think most people that are going to be interested in doing this, at least like the situations that they're showing here, I don't think these people are caring about, they're not going ham to get number 1 at Evo on one of these games or something, because these games aren't at Evo. So
yeah, and
Mario
also,
Kart was at Evo once.
Okay, well, making a comeback maybe.
Maybe.
And also, I think people were getting a bit confused. They're not playing. This is not like an online game that you're playing together. It's like you just you're sharing video and chatting
Oh yeah, you
while
can all
looking
play
at
different
someone's
games.
screen.
It could be a game that you're playing together. It could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So or like looking at there could be any game that they're currently playing. So like if it's like a Street Fighter 6, for example, that's just going to be one screen, and that's the main gameplay screen. That's going to be like super fast connection. Well, hopefully, right, Ty?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It depends on how you want to have it set up, because you can have it. You can do various things. How you have it lined up. You can put like your friend's screen up on there and stuff like that. You could do a lot of stuff with this, which is kind of interesting, I suppose.
It seems very Discord chat.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I thought too. With
Yeah.
bad video quality.
Right. Yeah. So like Discord video chat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison, Ty. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And,
more like
it's
a
actually
chat,
it's actually a really good thing that everybody can be in different games, because like when you're trying to herd cats into the same game, it's good to have like an open hangout where people can go in without having to fuck around with their game.
Danny, stop playing baseball. We're playing Mario Kart, Danny. Danny,
Right.
fucking stop the fucking baseball game.
All right, guys, let's play some baseball. Star Wars.
Yeah, for game night, that's going to be very.
It's
very
cool.
Yeah, because
It's cool.
if people are not playing, they can still watch, right?
Yeah.
Or if some people don't have a certain game, they can still see other people playing it.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then I think the camera integration stuff, kind of like, hey, I'm a streamer, like type of
Right.
thing.
I
cool.
called that, by the way. Do you not
you?
remember that? I said this. Well, actually, a little bit wrong. I said it was going to slot in the
Okay,
top.
here we go. I called it. Oh wait, not exactly. Come on, which is it, Charlton?
Well, my idea was better than what they did, because
Okay.
mine was just a little thing. I said it was like the PSP camera, which slots in the USB-C on the top. But no, they just put it on a fucking pole, and then had a cable leading to a stand. It's like, okay, that's one way to do it. Not the way how I would have done it, but yeah.
It's kind of cool how obviously we don't get to see exactly how they're moving around in comparison to like where the camera is, but it seems like it locks on to where their face is pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like something that FaceTime is. Oh, not what was before FaceTime? Was it FaceTime? Or like those early eyesight cameras on the Mac. They could do green screen without a green screen, that kind of thing. That's been around since like 2004.
Sure.
So it's kind of like that, basically.
In
It's
a
like
game
background removal and face tracking. It's it's like the Yokoi thing. It's like using stuff that's been around for a while, but just in a new way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah. So
It's a thing. Are you gonna get one, Danny?
no. I mean, maybe, but probably not.
Yeah, because if you got your computer right there, it's like with a HD camera on it, it's like, well, can't you just do that?
Yeah, it just seems a bit redundant to me. Like I don't think I'll have any.
Yeah, it's not going to be 4K camera. It's going to be 640 by 480.
You could still do the game share with your gameplay, so it's like fine, let's do that. So
I wonder if any games can use it directly.
A few so far. I mean, Mario Kart. No, not Mario Kart. Mario Party.
Mario Party.
Do it like it puts you inside of the game, so you're like doing stuff, kind of like party. So it seems like fun for like families and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the Xbox 360 camera? It was basically just a USB webcam.
Connect, yeah. Of course.
No, not the Connect.
Oh,
the
pre-Connect,
old camera.
Yeah,
No.
I've seen them in old game stores and stuff.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of party games and stuff they have with it, and it would also do stuff on like do you remember the OG Xbox 360 UI, the Blades one? Yeah, like it would kind of like watermark your camera feed onto that, which is kind of funny.
Huh. Yeah, this is like iToy generation, right?
Yeah.
Like that PS2 generation. Yeah. Hopefully this Switch 2 thing is better than that, quality wise. Yeah. But yeah, it's the Mario Party example that Danny mentioned. Like when somebody won, like the camera would take a picture of your face or like show a stream of your face and then put that over your character in the game, so you can see
You mean my
celebrating.
balls?
Yeah. So you can see your balls as you're celebrating, in the game.
Nice.
There it is.
Yeah.
Balls.
Balls.
So Lemonade brings up something actually. So, yeah, my TV supports HDR in quotes, but it makes it look worse. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I thought mine did too, but it turns out it didn't. So, anyways, trying to think if there's anything else about controllers or hardware that we might have missed. Probably.
Ball says that the Mario Kart bundle is only available for a limited time until March 2026 next year. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, it's not. Yeah, bundles don't always stay around forever, do they?
Yeah, they usually
mix them up.
go. Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, there'll be a Splatoon 4 bundle this time next year. Hopefully.
Right.
Which wasn't announced, by the way. I just made that up.
Yeah, good point.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, before we move on to games in earnest, I wanted to go on to something that's similar, but this is the paid and the free upgrades that are coming to Switch 2. Basically, some Switch 1 games, they're going to be on the platform. So,
not as bad as I initially thought. Yeah,
because like Ty said, I mean, compatibility is one thing. Like most Switch games can be played on the system. Those that can't, Nintendo, it says most of the things that they say they can't play, or that has some kind of a problem, Nintendo says we are working on this. And they still got a couple of months until the system comes out to try to get some of those worked out there. There are a couple of different, I guess, tiers of this to an extent. Let me see if I can find my video of this. Oh boy. Maybe.
Yeah, there's a difference between it plays on the Switch 2 and it's better on Switch 2. There's two different things, right?
Right. Yeah.
Sure, you can play Mario Odyssey on the Switch 2. It's going to be exactly the same as Switch 1.
Right.
However.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. I mean, two of the big games that they're having for paid upgrades are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Some other games are going to have it as well. Like I said, Mario Party Jamboree, which just came out in October. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is going to have one as well. How this works, it's basically if you own the game either digitally or physically, you can get this upgrade by either buying it directly from like the eShop, getting some kind of prepaid card at a retail store, or by being a Nintendo Switch expansion pack subscriber. You get it just as included with the system.
Boom, there it is. I didn't know that until much later, and I was very angry for a very long time.
Yeah. So like it's cool.
That, yeah.
This is cool because like some of these updates, like the one for Zelda and stuff like now, faster load times, smoother frame rates are some of the things that they do here. Like basically they get essentially Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom running at near 60-ish or something like that. A little bit more consistent, sharper looking. So yeah, this looks better overall. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice. I didn't know about the loading thing. That's cool.
Yeah, actually, then one thing specific for Zelda, I think this is kind of neat, but kind of like I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with this. But there's an app that they're releasing inside of like the app, inside of like the Nintendo Switch app, called Zelda Notes, that gives you a bunch of information about both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom as it's linked to like your account and stuff like that. So you can get like kind of like navigation directly from the app and basically kind of get told how to get to certain points and stuff like that. You can see stats, achievements, not those kind of achievements, but in-game achievements and stuff like that. It's kind of
basically
neat.
Doing what fans did 7 years ago.
Yeah, or basically doing, it's kind of almost like a gamepad type of a thing in a way.
Yeah, somebody made a Google Maps style web app just after the release of Breath of the Wild. Sure. And then when Tears of the Kingdom came out, they rearranged it for that game as well. Mm-hmm. It has every single Korok seed, every single in Tears of the Kingdom, every single cave, treasure, like whatever weapon, everything is on this Google Maps thing.
Sure.
But I think this official thing is better because I think it actually speaks to you.
Yeah, it does.
So it says like, go north, and actually, so because they can actually interact with the game code because they have that ability, right? So yeah,
Right.
it is better, but I'm just saying it's not like it's a brand new idea. Like
Right.
most people who wanted to get all the Korok seeds have already done so using the other thing. Yeah.
Right. It's like with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, there's basically kind of like with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, it comes with this thing called Star-Crossed World. Basically a big update to the game, which is actually kind of cool. Not just visuals, but maybe actual additional content, which is kind of neat.
Bowser's Fury plus 3D World kind of thing.
Kind of like that. It's, I mean, I think what was I doing when this is happening in the direct? I wasn't really paying that much attention because I don't own this game. But yeah, I think that's kind of neat. Like I said, Mario Party Jamboree gets higher fidelity visuals up to basically not 4K, but 1440p. That I think maybe 60, maybe even 120 frames a second. I don't remember, but yeah, that's a newer game. These other ones are a little bit older, so maybe that's how they were able to work that into Mario Party, because it's they had the Switch 2 in mind when they were developing it.
And Jamboree also has like a whole new mode or world.
Well, I mean,
dedicated to the mouse stuff.
Yeah, you use a mouse. I mean, the camera's in there as well, and like all sorts of stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I also don't have that game, so I didn't really care.
Yeah.
When the Zelda stuff came out, I immediately thought of Ty, and I was just waiting for a lecture about, how Xbox just gives you all these updates for free. Just like you patch your old 360 games and it has 4K support and all this kind of good stuff. And it's like, and Nintendo were doing the exact opposite. I'm like, just head in hands. I'm like, fucking hell, this is ridiculous. But, a few hours later, it was announced that if you're an online subscriber, you get all this stuff for free. So I was like, okay, included,
not free. James, you're doing the thing you hate. I have Xbox Game Pass. Games for free.
Well, yeah, but that's the same for Xbox. Like
it's not free. You actually already pay for it.
The online is not free, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Ty, could you theoretically not pay for Game Pass, not pay for online, and patch your games?
Yeah, it does it automatically. It's free.
Okay.
You just connect to the internet, and as long as you can access the store with your internet connection,
that's free to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Xbox does do it better. You literally do it for free. So yeah, you're right, Danny.
I mean, I was just messing around with you. But I mean, to be fair, too, I mean, Xbox, like all of their stuff is basically connected. Nintendo Switch is just Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean? So it's like, if this is going to be the start of them kind of connecting, with this shared account that's going to be used for years and years, and it sounds like that's what they want to do. And I think this day and age, that's the type of thing that makes the most sense, as opposed to hitting the reset button every 5 years. That's fucking stupid. So,
and you could play devil's advocate and say, well, if Microsoft tried to charge people to upgrade their games, they wouldn't, and they would say, fuck you. But like, Nintendo games, they hold their value, and people probably wouldn't mind paying more to upgrade their games because
all Nintendo fans have Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly. So yeah, it is cool. I mean, yeah, I think we all have the online subscription, so we don't need to worry about that.
Sure.
Yeah. Like if they were charging on top of the fucking online subscription, that would be just gross.
It would have to be a really, really good addition for me if that were the case to even look at it,
So you could buy. Wait a minute. So you could buy Prime 4 on Switch 1 for $60.
Yeah.
And then upgrade it for free. Sorry, Danny. To the Switch 2 version.
I thought about doing that because I would think the first one would become more of a collector's item, a little bit more rare, because people are like, I want to get Switch 2 version because it's more powerful, bigger. Yeah. It's like, well, it doesn't matter, actually.
Yeah. Is that literally no difference? I don't know.
That's what it seems like. So, I mean, who knows? They could do some kind of a weird thing with Metroid, because they did not say that about Metroid specifically. I don't think.
Right. Yeah, maybe the 120 frames a second mode is only if you get it on Switch 2 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. If there's some weird, goofy landmine.
Yeah,
because all these out about.
Yeah, because all these games that are talked about right now are already out. So it's going to be kind of weird to see what they do with Switch games that are going to be released from this point out. A couple of other, they do have another list of games that are going to get support as well. I'll kind of just go through this here really quickly. These are kind of like unspecified upgrades that say to improve playability. So it's like, what the hell does that mean? Nobody knows, but those are going to come to ARMS, Captain Toad, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World, Clubhouse Games, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder Garage, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That's good. And then Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. What the hell does that need enhancements for?
Danny, you just reminded me of a feature that they didn't really talk about that much. And I don't think I hear many people talking about this because it was just talked about so quickly. But when you said Clubhouse Games, you reminded me. So the Switch 2 can now do game sharing amongst like locally.
Yeah.
So Clubhouse Games, I have that game, and they have a really good Uno. It's not called Uno, but they have Nintendo Uno, whatever it's called, one last card or whatever the fuck it's called. It's like, okay, you can play it online, great, and then if you want to play it locally, it's like, please connect 3 switches. It's like, what? You can't play it if you only have one Switch. So this solves that problem.
Sure.
So now, like if you and Ty came over to mine, I could just like share my copy to you guys, and we could play Uno together. You don't have to buy it.
Yeah, it's basically like download play back in the day on DS.
Yeah, it's like DS, but yeah, it's like
Game Boy Advance with the cables.
That's right. You have to play as Yoshi, but you can play Uno.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome, and I don't know why they didn't really talk about that much.
They did. They probably don't want people to know.
They had a lot of things to cover, so
Yeah.
it's not a major thing, but yeah, for me that was cool. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what other games that would benefit from, like those kind of games. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think party
Those
games
kind
could
of party
do.
games.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be all games or specific games or
Probably. Yeah, it's hard telling.
Yep.
Ty, you look, you trying to say something, or you just like reading something on your screen?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my turn on this UFO catcher.
Okay, no, you're good. Before we get into the big games, I thought maybe we should talk about a new addition to the classic lineup on the Nintendo Switch Online. That is, everybody was anticipating this, but that is the GameCube has entered the fight here.
Chibi Robo.
Yep. God, I just had it pulled up here. Give me 1 second here, guys.
Finally, a good
Chibi
console.
Robo, Strikers, Mario Strikers. I'm trying to remember the other ones offhand.
Yeah, I mean,
not Melee.
Right? No. Yeah, Gene says like when's Melee coming?
Conspicuously absent.
Yeah. At launch for the GameCube, it's going to be just Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2, which is awesome.
That's a sick choice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Gene says.
They're just describing my game collection in the early 2000s.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So this is awesome. I mean, I think John Reardon from Nintendo World Report, he did like pixel counting and figured out what the resolution is on these games. He says that it's 900p essentially.
Okay.
And I think the games look like they run at about 60 frames per second ish. So that's pretty nice. Basically similar, same type of upgrades that you would get on the Switch, but it's just maybe a little bit more high fidelity because on the Switch with the N64, that only goes up to 720p. So a little bit.
Ty, did F-Zero GX support the it wasn't a HDMI thing adapter? What the hell was it? The progressive scan mode. It did,
yes.
Right? Good question. I don't.
It did. I'm pretty sure.
Did? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go pull it off my shelf. Hold on.
Because that kind of stuff is going to help when they're doing it to this NSO stuff, right? Because that's going to look fucking awesome. Because they already have the progressive scan-ness built into it. Yeah. I forgot what other games supported progressive scan. It's totally... Resident Evil 4, maybe? I don't know. I've forgotten.
This lineup. Okay.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium? Not Coliseum.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion. Fire Emblem, whatever. Pokemon.
Fucking Smash Brothers. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's the multiplayer game where it's just all on one screen, right? So you don't even need to do the split screen online thing. Yeah.
Right.
And Danny's got a box from his shelf.
I do. I got F-Zero GX here. Oh man, I have this really cool display unit that I got when this game came out as well. Man, man. Anyways, like, yeah, this does support progressive scan. I'll pull that up here.
Real man's game.
Just in case you don't believe me. So you can see in the corner here, progressive scan. Boom. There it is. Nice. Yeah, great game. Hella fun. Nintendo, Gene say Nintendo avoiding Melee to their fucking graves. Yeah. I think it'd be hard for us to see that come out on the.
If you want to huff some copium, maybe they're making an HD version with rollback mechanism.
Lol.
Like their fans already have.
Right. So, Lemonade.
Lemonade makes the point that I immediately thought of. It's like, why are they releasing this and not the HD remake? Yeah. Confirm that that's never coming to Switch 2. Well, I don't know if that's true, but yeah, definitely not immediately coming out. Which is weird because like they're giving this away for free. Sorry, Danny. But why not release the HD one and sell it for $70? Like, it's weird, right?
Yeah. It is weird, but I'm trying to think if have there been other situations where there have been other situations where Nintendo has done this type of thing.
No, it's usually the opposite way around. It's like, no, we're not going to put Advance Wars on NSO because, well, we can't tell you why. And then suddenly they announce an Advance Wars collection.
Nice shirt.
There you go. Nice, nicely done. It's usually that way around. It's like they don't give you stuff for free. They'd rather you bought the new version, right?
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned this a long time ago, like when we were talking about NSO. I can't remember what the topic was, but I think we were talking about actually this GameCube, the possibility of GameCube coming to Switch. And and I think I said something along the lines of, when you get to GameCube, the games are so close to what the games are now. It's almost like Nintendo don't really want to do that because, I think I actually said back in the day, I said about Strikers, because I think it was the time when they just released a new Strikers, Mario Strikers game for the Switch. And it's like, well, if that was available on NSO for free, then why buy the $60 new game when you could just pay the GameCube one as part of your online subscription? Yeah. And it's basically the same fucking game.
The GameCube one's better. Oh my God. I tried it on the Wii. Hated it. Liked Strikers in the GameCube. That's a great game.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. And like Mario Tennis, when Mario Tennis 64 came on NSO, and that's better than the fucking garbage that they put on the Wii U, for example.
Well, that was like just a disaster, and I don't know what they were doing, but yeah.
You know what I mean? When we get to like high quality 3D games, it's like, the latest one and the kind of the retro one, they're kind of getting closer, and now we're really close now. It's like,
sure.
Yeah, we have Zelda Wind Waker for free. Why buy the HD remake? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to buy the HD remake. It's vastly better. It has like the speed sale, and it's removed all the bullshit from it. A lot of bullshit from it. Yeah. But
Rich brings up something here too. He's a fan of the series. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is all we need. It's a pretty rare game, at least the English one. At least it's pretty expensive from what I understand.
Rich is in Japan at the moment. Yeah, met up with him yesterday. Good times.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Just as a quick aside, just here very recently, I did a mod on my GameCube. A friend of mine came over and he did it for me because he's awesome. Shout out to Will, Raccoon City Cinema. But we got these things called flippy drives, and you can basically there are a couple of things you can do. You can actually burn your games onto an SD card, so you don't have to keep putting discs in and stuff like that. That's one thing that you can do. I'll just leave it at that. You can use your imagination for the rest of it. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. I have a lot of games back there, and so it's pretty nice to be able to like not have to worry about flipping through discs and stuff like that. I mean, obviously having some kind of something with the form factor of the Switch is the most ideal way for me to play games these days, as opposed on the TV. So I am happy that we're getting this. And Gene say, Release Soul Calibur 2 HD on Switch so they can have the true definition, a definitive version with Link, Heihachi, and Spawn. Hell yeah, that'd be awesome. I played all 3 versions back in the day, only on the GameCube one. Actually, yeah, shit. Like, if you look behind me, I have this Soul Calibur banner behind me that's from launch. Like, if you look at the bottom, it says like coming August 2023 or 2003. Geez, God. But yeah, good times. Bought that one at launch too. F-Zero was like just right around the same time. Great days.
So, other than Melee, any other games that we would want on the GameCube service?
We need all the Lord of the Rings games. And the Hobbit.
Jesus Christ! Enter the Matrix. Yeah.
Let's go.
I like Pikmin 1.
Oh, okay.
Well, they already did that. They have that in HD.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that is what they usually do. They sell you the new remake.
Well, that one's 1 and 2, and it's also like kind of relatively cheap as far as Switch goes.
Yeah, there's less chance of that now, isn't there?
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Just a bunch of third-party games, I think.
Right.
That will never happen. Yeah.
Depends.
Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Yeah. I don't know. You might randomly get some like Ikaruga or something. That would be cool as hell.
That'd be cool. Yeah. There's already an HD version though on the. Everything.
Yeah.
On everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But on the other hand, that game is only 17 megabytes. So it would be an easy add.
One exciting possibility is the Zelda. What was it called? Four Swords. Because things that you needed like fucking 4 GameCubes for. that
Game
would be
Boy
cool.
Advances and stuff too.
Double dash. Let's go.
Like, yeah, Gene say this one's absolutely going to happen. WWE. It might have been F at the time. Day of Reckoning 1 and 2. There we go.
Was it WWF back then?
It might have been E. It's close. Can't wait.
So, similar to how, for example, Super Mario Kart Advance, Super Circuit, on the Game Boy Advance now, we can play it in a way that was not possible back in the day, right? Like everyone has their own screen. We're online. We're in different cities and whatever, right? So with the Four Swords, we could do a similar thing, right? It depends how Nintendo goes about that. Like, hopefully they figure out a way so like you guys can have Game Boy Advance screens on your side, and then I have the whatever the main big TV on my side or whatever. But I think you need to see everything, don't you? You need to see the Game Boy Advance screen and the TV at the same time, if I recall. Ooh. So
because you go inside of like a house or something, you go onto the Game Boy.
Yeah. Okay. So you might, I don't know, because they used to have like a little overlay, like if you didn't have a Game Boy Advance. I can't remember now.
I tried it by myself. I think with. I don't even remember. I had nobody to play that shit with. Nobody else had all the equipment. I had all of it, but nobody wanted to.
Because we have a Game Boy Advance NSO and we have a GameCube NSO, but they're 2 separate apps. Like, could they somehow get them to work together?
That would be a real trick shot.
Yeah, because like Game Boy Color and N64, some games were compatible with the transfer pack, but they didn't make any use of that. Especially, I was thinking like Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. For those systems,
they just unlocked everything, right?
I think or they just didn't unlock some things. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but anyways,
if I recall, they just unlocked it and just avoided that whole thing.
Yeah. GameCube has
Metroid. I think Metroid is one of them, right? Like Metroid has the unlock that you needed to connect to the GameCube to get it. They just had it unlocked from the start.
Yeah, maybe.
Was it Metroid Fusion?
Yeah.
0? One of those.
Fusion.
Yeah. It already had the GameCube thing unlocked.
Yeah. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what else they put on there. I'd have to like literally just turn around and I could take a look at a lot of games. Other things too. Like what about like Skies of Arcadia Legends or something?
That'd be cool.
What the hell is Sega doing with that?
That's Sega?
Yeah.
Sega.
Yeah. Or was it Namco? I don't remember. Was it Sega or yeah, it was Sega. It was on Dreamcast.
Why not the bullet?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but we'll see. Star Fox Adventures is probably what we're going to be getting next. So.
Well, no. isn't that co-owned by Microsoft now?
Okay, well,
I don't know.
yeah,
they've worked together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, we have Banjo Kazooie and Tooie.
yeah. So I could see
And GoldenEye and Perfect Dark.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah. Everything except DK64, because maybe they were saving that for. Are we going to talk about that now, then?
No. Yes. Let's go ahead and move on to the big games. The big games. So
banana.
yeah, I mean, there were obviously so many games talked about at this thing. We can't possibly talk about every single one. We'll be here for a couple more hours, and I probably need some sleep. I only slept like 3 hours last night. I had to get up early today, and then I just didn't sleep during the day, so it's kind of sucked. But anyways, lots of games. Let's start off with some first party stuff because, and trust me, I know there's at least a couple of non first party things that I know that you'd be interested in, and we'll get to that. But
Story of Seasons 5, right?
Yes. So obviously the biggest thing, and Nintendo kicked off the whole presentation, that was Mario Kart World. So
that's not how it's pronounced, Danny.
Excuse me.
It's Wardo.
Yes.
Wardo.
Yeah, but after seeing this at the initial Switch 2 event or whatever back early in January, I didn't really know what to think. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's like, what would make a good Mario Kart game? Like, how about trying to be Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah.
You know? And
more single player content.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they did. I mean, yeah, there still is obviously a lot of racing, up to 24 racers per race, which is cool. Lots of different new tracks, but yeah, kind of like open world segments and stuff like that make it a little bit more interesting. And James, I think you probably know about this game more than I do. I'm interested, but like you seem like you're like ravenous about this thing.
Yeah, it looks amazing, man. I mean, it's the Forza Horizon of Mario Kart, basically, like open world.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess we're watching the trailer now. Well, I'll share the map afterwards, but like from the map that they shared on their official website, this huge open world map, and they have 28 nodes, which represent the courses spread out across these, and they're connected by roads or whatever.
Actually,
nodes connected
that's
by
on
roads.
Here too in the video. I'll try.
It is. I think it's maybe.
I'll try to scrub through. It's towards the end, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have just the JPEG.
I got it.
Oh yeah, it's in the background now. Yeah. So that's a good. Yeah, you could freeze on that one, Danny.
Okay.
So yeah. So these icons represent the courses, right? But they're connected by roads. So in essence, you're basically free to go anywhere. There's some modes where you can go anywhere. It's like a kind of like an adventure mode kind of thing. I forgot what they call it. Like, is it rally mode or something, or free mode? Or
there's a free roam.
Free roam.
Yeah,
free roam. I think is more like the almost like a Mario Odyssey thing. You just go wherever you want and just do little missions in the world. So they really have like Diddy Kong Racing, to the max with that. Like even beyond what Diddy Kong Racing did, because that was quite limited in just these little worlds that you would go to. But this is like you can go anywhere. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how they do the loading with that. But they've mastered it with like Zelda, for example. Yeah. So I think it'll be all right. So the cups are now 4 races, 4 nodes on this map connected, and that equals a cup. But some of them you noticed that the tracks were the same on 2 cups, but in the second one it was at night, or it was like raining, or it was snowing. So now we not only have like one course, I think I forgot what it was called, but it was like a city one. So you're going from one direction at night in one cup, and in another cup you're going from in a different direction in the daytime. So that's the same course, but so it's kind of like a way of incorporating the reverse tracks, what that we've had in other Mario Karts. Like, when you play a track in reverse, it does feel totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So like, imagine like going from the opposite side of the track, going in the other direction. He's looking at totally different things. And if the weather's different, it's going to feel different again. You know, if it's snowing instead of being sunny, for example. So the potential number of cups or like combinations of these tracks is in the thousands. So like I crunched the number, I crunched the math. I did the math with ChatGTP, putting in the number of nodes, the number of how connections, and how many times can you connect 4 nodes together across this whole map. Yeah, it was somewhere in the region of 9,000. So what this means is that they can remix stuff like quite easily. Like I could easily see this having, you know, daily challenges, for example. It would be you could easily make it different every single day, because you're never gonna do the same 4 tracks, you know, twice, right? So, and it could be, and just a simple thing like, you know, changing the time of day or whatever, that would change it again, right? So yeah, and also that's not including the time of day, by the way, the 9,000 combinations. You include that, it increases it exponentially. Right. So yeah, that's even more. So what I think it's going to be like, you like, let's say you're on a desert track and then you win that track and you're in first position, but it doesn't stop, it doesn't fade out and then go to the next track, it just keeps going. So, and then you're in first, right? And then it will just kind of, maybe I'm going to guess here, and they didn't show this in the trailer, but it's going to kind of go to like an auto drive kind of mode, and it's going to like put you in the positions and then just start the next race. So it's going to be just continually keep going from track to track to track.
I mean, the catchphrase here, one of the catchphrases here on the screen right now, if you're watching the video version, drive virtually everywhere. So, I mean, I think that's something that Mario Kart has been missing. And I think a lot of Nintendo franchises have just been doing in general and have mostly become better for it, or at least more interesting for it, to do doing something different. And,
it's mind-boggling to think what is going to be possible here, because they actually are doing some retro tracks.
Okay.
Instead of just, you know, you just fade to black and go to that track, it's not like that. They've actually incorporated it into the world. So like I forgot the name. All the ones I'm thinking of are the new ones, but like there are some existing tracks, but they look totally different, and you know the weather is different, and you know, like I said, you know, you might be driving on an old track, but it's part of this world, and it connects with a totally new area, like kind of naturally. So it's like, you know, in Breath of the Wild, where you go from like an ice section of the world to the desert, you know, it doesn't happen like that. It's gradual, right? You know, like, you know, the snow melts and then trees appear, and then, you know, it's gradual, right? It's going to be like that. So yeah, it's really, really, really fascinating. And it looks like they're going to use the online in an interesting way, like, so you can actually just team up with your friends and actually just drive in this open world together. You can do races, or you can just like take photos, you know. They've added a little bit of Animal Crossing-ness to it. I think maybe that's kind of aimed at the Japanese market there. Like,
I mean,
photos.
Balls brings up a good point here too. He says, I like that they made it very different from 8. This way I can still enjoy playing 8. It's just too good. And
it is. Yeah, very, very different. So all of the characters that they showed were the 24 that we saw in the original trailer. The kind of, not the launch trailer, but you know, that first Switch 2 reveal thing. But then later in the trailer, they just went crazy and showed all of these enemy characters. It was like, you know, Snowman,
tertiary
Pokey,
characters too. Not even
Spike, you know,
the cow.
Yeah, exactly. And
you can play as the cow. That's amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
Like,
it's
even
nuts.
like Fishbone from like Super Mario World, like Fishbone, you know, that bony fish in the Bowser's Castle stage.
Did they add Torpedo Ted? That's my man.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think they're all playable in the normal sense. It felt a little bit too, okay, here's every enemy in every Mario game. It felt like maybe they're kind of secondary characters, or maybe you can team up with them or something like that.
To fill out the GPs.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were fleshed out. You know, I could be wrong, but anyway, that's what it felt like to me. Because all the other characters,
Ball says,
yeah, King Boo, there he is. Yeah, all the other
Maybe they're
characters
turning it
costumes.
into a gacha game, and those are like the low rarity fillers.
Yeah, I think it is something along those lines. I think, because I say that because all the other characters had a variety of costumes. You know, like Peach, I think she has shown at least 4 costumes.
Exactly,
possibly more. And Ty is gonna love this. They changed the costume by eating a hamburger.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. So the hamburger icon, the hamburger item, when they used it, in the trailer, I think it was Mario. He kind of ate the hamburger and he changed costume.
Yeah.
And this is my speculation here, and I haven't heard anyone else come to this conclusion, but the costumes seem to match the course that they were on. So my theory is, make a note of this one, that the hamburger, you get the hamburger from the Yoshi hamburger stores, you know, like we saw in the initial trailer. And then when you change into the costume, which is correct, like which is what you need for that area, then your stats improve. Like, let's say, for example, you're in a desert, you get the hamburger and you change into like a cowboy costume, a desert costume, and then you're no longer, too hot. So then you can drive faster. Or maybe you're in the snow and you're wearing a t-shirt, but you pick up the hamburger character, you put on a, like a snowsuit, and then you're not cold anymore. And then your stats improve. This is all my speculation, but it's just like, well, why would you eat a hamburger to change costume? Yeah, and
why would eat hamburgers out of the garbage cans and old beat 'em ups?
Hell yeah,
because they're good.
The street meat.
Yeah. So there are other new items like the ice flower and other kind of stuff. Like the big mushroom is coming back. And then Kamek is now an item. Like you can summon Kamek and he'll do something. I don't know. That they didn't really show what he does, but I'm gonna guess he's gonna teleport you somewhere or something like that.
Well, one other thing too. I mean, we did get a taste, but there is going to be a Mario Kart World Direct coming later this month on April 17th. I think it's around the same time as what the other Direct was, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, no idea what time that is for European guys. I think it's evening for us. So like that's going to happen.
Oh, 10 p.m. again? Or?
I think 10. I think so. Maybe. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I think 10. I think 10 at night. So that's kind of cool.
They seem to have gotten rid of the gliders, and it's now the cars transform into like a plane version or
Diddy Kong
a
Racing.
boat version. Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Boats and planes are back. Well, not back, but they're in. And they also have like a wall jumping. It looks like wall jumping. It's a combination of grinding and wall jumping, like timing based wall jumping, which gains you height. So almost like a Metroid game. Which that could be interesting. But it's probably man. Yeah. It's probably to help with the, traversing these new massive worlds, I'm sure these grinding rails will lead you to secret areas and stuff. There are P switches dotted around the map, and people have already speculated this, and I agree with them. It's like probably you hit the P switch and that activates a mission that you do.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Hey,
yeah. We still got a lot of
so many things to talk about. So I mean, Game Explain have already done a 4.5 documentary about this, about one trailer. So we'll be talking about this for a while.
Something that I don't have a trailer for that they did show up during the Direct, something that they call the Switch 2 Welcome Tour. It's a download-only game that kind of explores what the Switch 2 is. It looked just kind of like a poor cheap man's version of Astro's Playroom.
Which is free. Right?
And fantastic, like Mario level quality, like platforming and stuff like that. So this just looked kind of like a boring way to learn about the Switch. Not as boring as them like giving you like a instruction manual or something with no pictures, but
almost.
But Don't know what it's going to cost. Don't really care.
Well, I speculated this on Bluesky already, but it looks like about $10 worth of content, so it'll probably be about 60.
Can't wait. It's going to be great.
That you have to pay for, exactly. Yeah, an instruction manual that you have to pay for.
I'll still remain optimistic. I mean, maybe that because they're doing a treehouse thing today and tomorrow. By the time, if you're listening to the audio version, it might be already done. We don't know what they're going to do. At least I don't, unless they announced it. So who knows?
Yeah, it'd probably sell worse than 1-2 Switch. No one bought that game, right, Danny?
No, hey, you gotta give it to them. That sold over like 1 million units or something. It early system, man. You get out games like that. People have nothing else to play. Well, not really. There's so much. God, there's a lot.
Do you want to buy Mario Kart World, or do you want to buy an instruction manual?
Right, instruction manual.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Anyways, we already talked about the Switch 2 editions of games. The next thing is Drag and Drive, which we mentioned briefly.
Drag and Drive. You drive
Drag and Drive. Excuse
That
me,
was an
Drag.
actual game that was on GameCube.
Really?
Yeah, it sucked.
I'll pull this up. I actually have it for this. Sorry, shut up. There we go. It's like wheelchair basketball. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
looks like it could be fun, but then like just the way you control is by using the mouse, like two mice.
It seems like a tech demo,
Yeah.
but they figured out, hey, this is fun enough. Let's ship it.
Yeah, and it's going to be digital only, and who knows? I mean, this is same with arms. Whenever they first showed that off, they're like, you got to use your arms to punch, but it ended up like, no, you don't. You could use the sticks, and I can see them doing a similar thing with this. I don't know.
So what are you going to do? Just flick this?
I was trying to think about that too, because like they got to think of some kind of a way to do that. I would imagine.
I gotta say, the YouTube chat during this game was amazing. Just woke, gay, DEI. brother, what?
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing I don't like about this just seems kind of boring. It just seems like it kind of lacks personality a little bit to me.
Yeah. What if I told you they're all gay?
Okay.
Yeah, they're true and woke.
Well,
but you can do slam dunks in this game, so
you can. Yeah.
We have Rocket League at home.
Right.
But Nintendo themselves have already done this. They did the basketball addition to Nintendo Switch Sports, right? They added it later.
Yeah.
Or was it part of the original pack? I can't remember.
No, it was a later edition, but they added that. And
they just copy and pasted the exact code for that and just put them in their wheelchair.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It just doesn't look that fun to me. Who knows?
Next.
Yep, exactly. Hold on.
Drag and Drive. More like drag and drop. Am I right?
Drag and Drive. The next one kind of
drop it into the trash.
The next one that came up, I was kind of surprised to see, but if you think about it, it does make sense. Obviously, Nintendo has been pretty keen on basically releasing a new Zelda every year, and we've been pretty consistent throughout the Switch's life cycle.
Can't believe you're doing this to me, Danny.
And no, it is.
Fuck you, Bivens. Fuck you. Fuck you in the ass.
This is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, kind of like the next Musou style or Warriors style of game.
Kuso style. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, James, did you get the first one too, Age of Calamity?
Dude, I did. I had to buy it because it was in my fucking voucher program and there was nothing else to fucking buy.
I bought the treasure box for crying out loud.
So I ended up buying that piece of shit and I played it for like an hour and then never played it again.
Yeah, man, I was so disappointed with that because the Persona game, that was the like a Musou style game, was actually awesome because like the story beats with it were really cool. They really tied the RPG elements with that like really well together. And I don't think they did it as well with Age of Calamity. So many people liked it. I just couldn't get into it.
I'll watch the videos on YouTube. That's the best I can do with this game. Yeah, I'm interested in a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom. That's great. But yeah, YouTube. That's all you need.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same thing, same boat here. Next up, we have a Sakurai special that actually showed up that
Wow, Smash Brothers.
Yeah, actually, literally, raise your hand if you did initially think this was Smash Brothers when it was.
No. I knew it immediately.
You mean, oh,
Yeah,
really?
check the Discord.
Okay.
Check the Discord. I said,
Edited.
shit,
message,
is this?
Got it.
I said, shit, is this air ride?
Yeah.
Like,
Because
I knew
it's
it,
like he's been known to start out some of his like Smash videos with Kirby. So I was thinking like this could be Smash. And then as soon as I think there's like another character that comes in, I was like, are you kidding me? Like they're going back to this. And
if it was Smash, it would be an envelope with the stamp with the symbol on it, right? Not
well,
the
I
star.
Well, the star got hit with something. So I'm like, okay, is that somebody's sword or something? That's kind of what I thought.
It was kind of like an engine starting, like
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also like the similar to the first one, if you look at the box art for the GameCube game, in Japanese it says Kirby, I think, is it Hoshino Kirby or just Kirby no Air Ride?
Yeah,
right. But in the subtitle in English says Kirby's Air Ride with an apostrophe S, the correct grammar. The English version has incorrect grammar. It says Kirby Air Ride.
Oh, okay.
It's just a weird thing that just always irked me. It's like, why does the Japanese have better grammar than the English version? It's the only case where that has ever happened in the history of the world.
What are you talking about? Luigi Mansion is my favorite game.
Exactly. So Kirby, and I believe it's in Japanese. It's also Air Ride.
Yeah, because it was Raida, and then they changed. They said Raidas. So like, okay.
Right, yeah. But it's Raido, isn't it? In the
no, sorry, it was Da Rider, so Kirby
Raida.
Air Rider. They turned to Riders.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't pluralize it, Danny. What are you doing?
Well, they did in the new one. They did. No, they literally did pluralize it.
Raidazu.
Raidazu.
Okay. There it is.
Yep.
And on Instagram, I already blue skied this, but like it was the most viewed reel on the Nintendo NCL's Instagram account. The Kirby video was the most viewed one, over Donkey Kong, over Mario Kart.
I can see that the audience, Instagram audience, is probably more in tune for that type of stuff than any of the other things. Why do they like Dark Souls? I don't understand.
So yeah, there is hype for that. Yeah. Well, we haven't had a Kirby game for at least 1 year.
Yeah. Ty, you were around, you're a grizzled Nintendo veteran turncoat. If you will. No, but did you jam on Kirby's Air Ride? Kirby Air Ride, whatever it was called back in the day?
Not really.
Okay.
The controls were too difficult for him.
Right, sure. I think I played it once, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of rare now. So like that might be a good candidate for them just to slap up on.
I remember the development for it was so weird. Like it was like wasn't a game that would just kind of like float up since the Nintendo 64 days and be speculated and rumored about until like I guess they finally made it and shipped it.
Yeah, it did.
Wasn't it one of the two games that were LAN as well? There were LAN games on the GameCube. Like it was Mario Kart and this, right?
1080.
Yeah. It was all like
Avalanche or Silver Storm, as it's called in Japan.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Storm for Wave Race, Silver Storm.
Right.
It's like
Brown Storm.
Oh no.
For Excite Bike. That's right.
Can't wait, man.
You want to shit in your pants? There's an Excite Bike.
Oh boy.
What are we talking about? LAN cables? Yeah.
Anyway, actually, Gene say this is kind of funny. I like to imagine Gene say 64 here. He said, like to imagine Nintendo approached Sakurai for a new Smash, and he immediately responded with Kirby Air Ride 2 or no deal. Probably makes sense.
Well, it makes his tease on his own YouTube channel even more confusing when he talked about Kid Icarus Uprising, and he literally quotes said, "Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody remade it?"
Yeah, it's throwing you off, man.
Yeah. So yeah, he was. No, this is not a remake. This is a new game, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is a sequel. Yeah.
He's probably. He's probably just trolling, dude.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we know that he likes to troll.
Right.
So, unless it's still coming,
right
after this.
Last big Nintendo game. Then we can get to some third-party stuff here as well. None other than actually, when this trailer started up, did you guys think for the whole time that this was going to be what it was, or did you think this was more?
Well, I thought it looked like Odyssey.
Me too.
And
I saw the rock with the eyeballs on it, and I thought it was Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, I heard in this early part of the video when there's no characters, it sounds like there's a Mario voice kind of like going Yahoo, like really, really faintly.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a very similar sounding monster or something deep into a cave, because then right after that,
it's incredible. Like Guillaume on RFN a couple of episodes back said literally this. He said, what if DK actually had his own 3D adventure, and that was the launch title for Switch 2. He said this a couple of episodes back. It's amazing.
We said this too. We said this is what we want, like during the Fammies, because
3D,
they had
3D Donkey.
Yeah, I thought at the time, it's like even if they do it something that's like 3D Mario 3D World style, it's like okay, that'd be good enough. This looks like full 3D, like completely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
destroy the environment. It's Donkey Kong Red Faction.
Yeah. Steamroll Dig, Steamroll Donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks wild. I mean, it's clearly made by the Odyssey team. But yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. What more can I say? Give it to me now.
Right. I think when I was watching this trailer, like rewatching it last night, I remember thinking to myself, why does Donkey Kong have feathers? Because of the way they did his fur, they kind of look like feathers.
Ty, what's the Ingot Island reference? I don't really get that.
I don't think it's a reference to anything in particular.
Okay, that's good.
Unless
unless
he's building or something. This is a Minecraft collaboration.
Yeah, people have analyzed it, and like you picking up gold coins.
Yeah, because he's punching through the mountains and stuff, and you hear gold nuggets and stuff all over the place. Yeah,
it happens mostly underground. Like most of the shit that's going down is underground.
Gold, Bonanza. It's like a mining game. Gold Rush. That's the whole vibe.
I love that the Game Explain guy called it like Donkey Kong Banana, and then like during the live stream he realized like, oh no, Bonanza, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's a pun.
So yeah, if you're dyslexic, it's not banana, it's Bonanza.
Yeah. When I was writing out the agenda, I was thinking like Bonanza. How do you spell Bonanza?
Bonanza.
That's not right.
Yeah.
That's how
weird words, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. This thing actually comes out on July 17th. Which is pretty relatively soon after launch. If I can get my hands
if we have a Switch 2 by then.
If I have a Switch 2 by then, this is something that I would pick up. Like I want to play this more than I want to play Mario Kart personally.
Yeah, boy. I mean, I mean, there are 3 games that I want on Switch 2 from day one, and that's Mario Kart, this, and Metroid.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Ingot Island, or who the hell just said that? Sorry.
I just said, I asked Ty, does he know what the Ingot Isle reference is? But it's not. I thought it might be a DKC thing that I forgot, but I don't think it is.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. And the moon is a banana.
Haha, there it is. Catch up in the chat.
That's cool, man. I'm glad. I mean, maybe I don't know if you're the same way, people listening and you guys. I don't know if you thought this, but like another Mario Odyssey type game, I was a little bit like, if it is that, do I really want that? Like, because I'd rather have something new, and this is perfect because we haven't had 3D Donkey since 64.
True. Yeah.
And to get like the Mario Odyssey treatment, like but applied to Donkey Kong, that's really cool, man. That's really cool.
Well, that hasn't been confirmed, but I mean,
because like Kirby Odyssey, like what's it called?
Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land. I mean, that's like a baby version of Kirby Odyssey because it's like you can't really go anywhere. It's still
it's 3D world, right?
Yeah, you're just following a line basically. But this looks like a proper 3D platform game. And it's not just a straight up platform. They do have some 2D sections which look like Donkey Kong Country.
It's exactly what Jinsei brought up too. He said, I wanted to say that random 2D section in the trailer with the jungle japes looking background looks gorgeous. Yeah, again, too, like most of these Nintendo published games do support 4K, 60 frames per second, 1080p, 120 frames per second and stuff like that as well, which is pretty cool.
It's similar to like how Odyssey, you went through the pipes and then you went to the 2D Mario.
Yeah.
You remember those things? But it was like you're playing 2D Mario on the side of a 3D object kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it looks like they're incorporating those 2D stages into, the normal 3D worlds. So that's really clever. I like that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about third-party stuff. And actually, Ty...
Wait. Before we move on, I want to ask you guys, what do you think of the DK redesign?
I'm good with it, man.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right.
Ty, do you hate it?
No, I love it, actually. I thought I would hate it, but I love how it enables him to be so expressive.
Yeah.
He goes through quite a lot of emotions, doesn't he, in the trailer?
He's very, very expressive in a way that like the old model was definitely not able to be.
Yeah, or at least like it's just it seems like that old model. I mean, it's been around for so long, so why not update?
Yeah, it looks like a 90s CG render.
Because it is. It was. I mean, and I think
I do have a soft spot for it, but I do think this is better.
Yeah, like. And even at Universal Studios and stuff like that, like I don't know if you can even see it behind me. They have like a Donkey Kong banana chip thing, and that's that design basically.
Yeah,
back there, and it's on all of like the artwork that I think it's been around for about the past year, outside of like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So
it's time to let the old one die.
I hope the end boss is Mario and they fight to
right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, there's a Donkey Kong stage in Mario Kart Worlds. They had the girders like they're doing the old classic,
that's what that was. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and that's you remember the scene where I think Shy Guy is kind of wall jumping off some girders. That is Donkey Kong stage.
Okay, now that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah. It's called like Donkey Kong's rocket ship or something like that. I think the stage is called something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It ends with a space shuttle going up.
Okay.
Where does the Rainbow Road fit in? That's interesting.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. But
somewhere in the sky.
Yeah, rocket ship.
Yep.
Right. Well, let's move on to a little bit of third-party stuff. Obviously, we're not going to go through every single game on this list.
That would be literally impossible.
Yeah.
There's about 400 announced in that.
I mean, I only highlighted just a few that I'm interested in, or at least that I think that people, maybe you guys out there, or you guys here with me right now, might be interested in. I mean, Elden Ring was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I mean, one thing that Genki and me and Ty talked about last time was that, I think games that have some kind of like a PlayStation 4 base seemed to be able to find a home on the Switch too. And it does kind of seem like that's been the case. A lot of the stuff that is shown off it's stuff that you might think like, holy crap, they got that run on Switch too. It's like, well, kind of like PS4 Pro-ish level of stuff, which is fine. So
yeah, like I think I brought up before. It's like, okay, when the Switch 2 comes out, they're gonna like all the major multi-platform games are just gonna like get ported to it like immediately. I was proven right.
Yeah. I mean, that's a thing. Elden Ring, couple. I mean, then
well, if Genki was here, he would also say Final Fantasy VII.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Amiibo edition.
yeah, actually, I thought that was pretty interesting. And Ty, I mean, we can talk about it for a little bit, man. If you have any, because I had the video for it. So,
how ironic that like the Nintendo themselves didn't show any amiibo, but like Street Fighter 6 gets 3 amiibos and like 20 cards, amiibo
22
cards. Like what?
Yeah,
I mean, there is a decent amount of Street Fighter merchandise out there.
Sure. Yeah.
And have you guys seen the energy drinks in the convenience stores?
Maybe not. No.
Well, have a look. See if you see the energy drinks. I think there's one with Chun-Li and one with Jamie. He's the guy in the yellow there.
Okay. I see.
Do you like any of these amiibos, Ty?
I mean, they're okay. I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not an amiibo guy. I have exactly one amiibo, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
They look. I mean, that suits the style of game, right? It's not like a hyper realistic. It is more like a cartoon style, isn't it? Street Fighter 6.
Kind of, yeah.
Colorful,
Video gamey.
video game,
Yeah.
And all these cars. Are these cars just going to unlock stuff that other consoles just get for free?
Yeah, I like how the three amiibos there they're like pretty identifiable moves from the game.
Nice. Yeah,
Whenever Sakurai helps design them. Yeah, or P stance.
Well, Luke's got some piss hanging off his elbow there.
Yes. I think it's called his own.
It looks like he's just plunged his toilet and he just like, just getting his hand out. Yeah.
Jinsei said here too, he's like, hey, the main thing to point out is that they are stating at least 60 frames per second with crossplay enabled for this. So it's like, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Ty, can you buy Street Fighter for me and I'll play with you?
Yeah.
Sure, if you have a Wi-Fi connection, I'm gonna reject the match.
How dare you?
Yes, be forewarned. If you hop on Street Fighter on your fuck ass Wi-Fi connection, people can just people can see it and decline your match.
Right.
So
why didn't they make a Chun-Li amiibo?
Yeah.
Good question.
We are good boys and girls.
They hate money. They want you to buy the $200 lewd one.
Yeah, of course they do.
Right.
Not the $15 cheap one. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars Outlaws is going to be coming to Switch too, which is cool. I'm interested in that. Human Fall Flat 2. First one's super popular here, especially.
That's huge, yeah.
Maybe worldwide too. I don't know, but like, dude, it at one point it was always in like the top 20 in like the eShop sales and stuff like that here. It's nuts.
They got a physical one in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Undertale, not as Deltarune. All 4 chapters.
Yep.
Coming to Switch 2 first.
Yeah, on launch day.
That's wild.
Yeah, the new game from Software called The Dusk Bloods, Switch 2 exclusive.
That was crazy.
That's
big. It's
for
like
Japan, that's fucking big. Yeah,
sure. I think for a lot of places. I mean, you think about, From Software, they've been hot. Elden Ring, I think it sold over 20 million units or something like that. I mean, that's spanning, I think, every other platform except for the Switch. But I mean, if you have something that could potentially be as popular as the Switch One, why not get your game on there and just word of mouth? People, it's something new, especially if it's exclusive or something.
Is it a Bloodborne sequel or just a?
I'm not the guy to ask.
Just in the same world. Yeah, that's the Japanese equivalent of having like a Star Wars game exclusive in America. I mean, like getting a From Software game in Japan. It's the equivalent. It's like it's that big. It's crazy. So yeah, good on them. I mean, I don't play From games, but they're super popular.
I liked playing Dark Souls, and Scott was coaching me up a couple of years ago, fucking 6-7 years ago. That was fun.
A couple of years ago.
Oh God, times it's going too fast.
Right.
We should co-op the original remake version on Xbox sometime.
I don't know if I'm that brave. I usually just ran away from stuff because I tried to fight everything. And anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy that Madden will be coming to Switch too.
There you go.
That was even on the Japanese Direct, so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they showed it there. FC Club, obviously, it's going to be there. NBA 2K, obviously, that's coming. It's been on the Switch. WWE 2K is coming to the Switch as well. The last time that happened, the Switch One version, like 2K18, it was just dog crap. It just didn't run well. Yakuza, Tony Hawk. There was one exclusive for Japan, and maybe I'll just share this one up here. James knows what I'm talking about.
Ty is the guy that played with me with this game.
Okay, but I wonder if he knows what
Dead by Daylight for babies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this game is sick.
Yeah, this is the sequel, the return of it, if you will.
Nice.
Obakedoro
3v1 it looks like.
Yeah, Obakedoro 2. So this was free on Game Trials, or excuse me, a part of Game Trials a couple of years ago. Essentially Dead by Daylight with cuter characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. I went really hard on it. like the entire time. It was pretty good.
Yeah, up to 8 players on this. They can play together.
Wait, 8
yeah.
players? What's
That's
going
what it
on?
said. Yeah.
Dang.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's supposed to be coming this summer as well. So and again, that's probably Japan only. I think the first one didn't come out in the West. Maybe it did. I'm not sure. Did you guys play in English or was it only in Japanese?
That's a good
remember.
question. I don't
It's
remember.
probably been like 5 years ago, so I understand.
You can watch the stream on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, we did stream that.
Yeah,
I should go watch. I did some pretty crazy stuff.
yeah.
It's a fun video.
There was another exclusive Japan game for the Direct. I'll just tell you the title, and you probably just know what it is.
Next.
Shine Post. Be your idol.
Next.
Can't wait. Konami, bring in the hits.
Oh, God.
Janae Post.
The
I
Post
post
shine,
online.
shine, like shine post. Be your idol. Like, God,
There was a very Japanesey trailer, but it was also on the Western one, and I knew immediately what it was because I don't like this game, Daemon X Machina.
Okay,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, this is a sequel to that fucking Daemon X Machina game, isn't it? And yeah, it was.
It was.
It's like,
Yeah.
no thanks.
I thought the style looked cool. I just didn't.
It's just not a fun game.
It was a demo. Yeah, whatever.
Hades 2 is a big
Yeah.
get,
Oh
isn't
yeah.
it?
Hades
Yeah.
2. It's not going to be exclusive, but it was cool to see that there.
But like, yeah, announcing it like that. What else? Oh, there was a 007, but it just said like 007 game.
Yeah.
Teaser.
Next. And it's
Yeah, like
wait,
not
what?
even a teaser. It's just like this is yeah, exactly. Okay.
Do you like 007? And then end of sentence.
Yep.
Like no further information given.
That was pretty much it. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, GoldenEye sequel confirmed.
Yes. I mean, Bravely Default, Flying Fairy, the original Bravely Default's getting an HD remaster as well. So, like, yeah, tons of cool stuff. I obviously, like we already said, and I think somebody else also said in the chat, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade is the version that's coming out on Switch, the definitive edition of that.
What's the Intergrade mean? What's that?
It's just a.
Is it the first chapter? Because it's doing 3 chapters, right?
So like, Final Fantasy 7 Remake was what it originally came out on PS4. Then they had like some DLC. And then they just released another version of the game with the DLC included and called it Final Fantasy Remake Integrate. That's it.
Oh, okay. So it's just chapter 1, but just the DLC version of chapter 1. So chapter 2 is already out on PS5.
PS5 and PC, or it's coming out on PC soon.
And that might come out later, I guess. If it sells, if the first one sells enough on Switch too.
Need to recoup money somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, technically it's cheaper to get a Switch 2 and that game. It's cheaper than buying a PS5 and that game. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I was with Rich in the Sony store in Ginza yesterday, and they had the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, and PS5 is like 70,000.
I think it's 79,000.
Yeah,
just
you could be
stupid.
Right. And the Pro was over 100,000.
Yeah, 120,000.
What? Jesus Christ!
It's dumb.
That's what you have to do. Yeah, or do what Nintendo does and only sell it to my Nintendo people.
Yep.
Cool. I think that was everything. We talked about Cyberpunk.
Oh no, Cyberpunk's coming too. There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
kind of a big step. Yeah.
Yeah, so many games, so many cool things to look forward to. A lot of games coming out at launch as well. So yeah, hope if you can get a system at launch, awesome. I know Lemonade said that he got his pre-ordered down in Australia. I think pre-orders open up in North America on the 9th. Not sure about Europe. I mean, a lot of different territories, countries, so it's a little bit hard to know with that, but good luck out there, wherever you guys are trying to get one of these things.
A lot of people went crazy for Silk Song because that was the first time it'd been seen in like 8 years.
Right.
It's real. Oh my God, it's real.
I didn't even realize it had been that long. I just see people talking about it on social media. So
yeah, before every direct,
Oh yeah,
we're gonna get a Silk Song trailer, guys. It's gonna be it.
Oh yeah,
repeat for 5 years.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of like Metroid Prime 4 in a way.
Right. Ty, do you have any closing thoughts on any of these games? Anything in general about Switch?
Closing thoughts? I don't know. It seems okay to me.
Are you aware that you cannot get one, probably, Ty, that can play English. Okay, yeah.
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 I don't know if
It's
I'm
got a
gonna get
LAN
one at launch.
cable. It's got a LAN cable and it plays Street Fighter 6. That's all you need to know.
True.
Yeah. Well, we'll report back on. Well, we won't know about who's going to get anything. Okay. Anyways, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. Who's going to end up buying a Switch 2? Or being able to, able to get the possibility of buying a Switch 2.
Right.
Yes.
Hope you guys like gotchas.
I do.
Right.
You best start believing.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyone flying back home this year, or
probably not?
That's probably going to be a faster way of doing it.
If I do go back, maybe in November, like the worst time of year to try to buy one of these things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. We've been reading out a lot of comments from you guys live. Actually, I missed one from Russ. He said he was watching the Famicast from a Japanese foot bath earlier. I saw him say that.
Neat.
Who said that?
Rich.
Oh, yeah, I thought you said Russ. I was like, what?
No, Russ.
Russ is having a foot bath. Yeah.
I think Russ is actually he's at work, so he can't be here. But yeah, like I said, that is going to do it for this episode. So we'll go ahead and give you guys our social media things here. If you want to follow me, you can. You can follow me at DannyBiv, DANNYBAV. JC, where can the fine folks find you?
Yeah, been posting a lot after the Switch 2 season went down. So at Family Complicated on the Bluesky. Aozora.
Tyrone.
You can find me on Blah Blah Link, the official social media platform of Nikkei, where my username is currently Yulha's Chew Toy.
All right.
Or Super Cat Drugs everywhere and else. Join the Discord.
Yeah. Grandma's chat toy. No, chew toy on the Discord.
Will he be in your new place next episode, Ty?
I'm in my new place now.
Oh yeah. You're just disguising it really well.
Right. It's
just
boxes only, Final Destination.
Yeah. Which box do you sleep in? Is it that one on the back?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give you guys a little tour. Wow.
Oh, okay.
I have a loft.
Yeah.
The loft is actually huge. It's like the size of like 3 futons.
Yeah. Right. I had this same style of apartment before. This is the exact same door placement and everything.
Yeah.
Too.
This ceiling is really high. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, I'm glad I visited before you put that shit in there, Ty. I could see how big it is.
Yeah, we'll get it sorted out sooner or later. I got so many shelves to build.
My God.
Yeah. All right.
Then.
Yep. Well,
It's time to switch off.
Yes. Hold on just one second.
See what I did there?
I think so. Yeah. God, why does it take so long to do this share screen thing? Jeez.
What, do a podcast?
Yes, that too. All right. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for checking us out. If you're watching us live, if you're listening to us after the fact, thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube. Think about giving us a thumbs up or something.
All of this and more available on the Famicast.com.
.org. Yep. That is going to do it. Of course, James, Ty, thank you for coming with me on this journey. And we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Switch to high